Hey guys, it's me again. It's time for me to count down my top 10 favorite episodes of Season 5 of My Little Pony. And looking back, this season had a ton of hits, and very few comparable misses. So I'm going to do a double feature, where today I'm going to count down my top 10 favorite episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and in a few days from now I'll count down my top 10 worst episodes this season. But you should understand that by worst I mean by default, since I don't think there are any real bad episodes this season, well, except for one or two, just ones that weren't as good as the high point ones that I'll talk about today. With that being said, let's get down to it. My top 10 favorite episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic's 5th season. Number 10, The Hooffields and the McColts. Maybe it's just me, but I like when TV shows adapt certain pieces of American history into TV. And with the Hooffields and the McColts, it somehow made an adaptation of the Hatfields and the McCoys really entertaining. I like to see the family feud between the two families. Ma Hooffield and Big Daddy McColt made for some funny characters, if a little stereotyped. And it was nice to see Twilight and Fluttershy work together for once, which is something we've never seen on the show before. Plus the message of not letting an argument get in the way of doing something that benefits all the people around you is certainly a strong one. Number 9. Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep? Now, Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep is one very polarizing episode, with some people enjoying its incredible animation and the battle that the main six and Princess Luna, as well as all the other ponies, have against the Tantabus, and others claim that it's a very problematic episode due to its climax. I understand the problematic elements, and to be honest, that's the reason this episode's only number 9 on the list, but you cannot deny that this episode had its clear strong points. The animation was one of the most vibrant episodes of the whole season. The whole Big Mac turns into a Sailor Scout transformation is one of the most genuinely humorous moments of the whole season. And the whole time, the episode felt like a cartoon version of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Plus, the message of not letting guilt get over yourself, and the fact that Princess Luna got some much-needed character development in this episode was certainly a high point. All of those things made this an incredibly enjoyable, action-packed, and humorous mid-season finale. Number 8. Make new friends but keep Discord. To be honest, it was sort of hard to choose between What About Discord and What Make New Friends but Keep Discord, but I prefer the first one. I prefer Make New Friends but Keep Discord. John Delancey, of course, gives an exceptionally funny performance, plus the new characters like the Smoos, who we haven't seen since the 1980s, plus the new character of Tree Hugger, voiced expertly by Nicole Oliver, certainly made this episode a very enjoyable ride. Plus, I do like the message that Discord learns. The live-action cut with the Mexican sock puppet was certainly unexpected. And it's nice to see an episode that's both chaotic and educational at the same time. Number 7. Brother Hooves Social. Yes, the first and so far only Big Mac episode. Again, this is a polarizing one, considering the whole transgender issue. To be honest, I thought the whole thing was stupid, considering that it's just that in many respects they're just using the guy in a dress trope, which some transgender people have felt fatigued with. But in many ways, I find this episode uses that trope to explore a much deeper message in a similar fashion to many excellent films that use that trope, like Mrs. Doubtfire and Tootsie. And what is this used for? It's used to develop the brother-sister dynamic with Big Mac and Apple Bloom. The brother-sister dynamic works very well. It was nice to see the Sister Hooves social again, and to get a few more cute moments with Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo. And that last scene with Big Mac and Apple Bloom talking to each other after the Sister Hooves social near that tree will always stick in my mind as one of the most heartwarming moments of the season. Number 6. The Cutie Map. It was what a way to start the season. We had no idea what to expect when it came to this two-parter. So you can imagine how exciting it was to see this episode go to places we never thought the show would go for. Tackling an anti-communism and anti-equalist message in a way that felt natural and completely well done. Introducing the audience to Starlight Glimmer, who's probably one of my favorite My Little Pony antagonists, due to her later appearance, which don't worry, I'll get to later. And having a climax where instead of the main six working against Starlight Glimmer, they had to rely on the other characters to help them out, making the other characters seem less like innocent bystanders and more like heroes in their own right. So it's nice to see some of the male ponies help out, as well as some other female characters. Not to mention the song "In Our Town" is just one of many amazing songs in this season. Number 5, Slice of Life. Yes, this episode is fan pandering to the nth degree, but for the 100th episode, what would you expect? The references come so fast and are so well done that you might end up missing a few the first time watching them. I mean, I rewatched it just today, and I saw one or two references that I didn't see the first time. And the episode acts as an enormous love letter to the fandom, and it's something that I appreciate wholeheartedly. Yes, it's out of left field. Yes, the main six are literally in the background for the entire episode. Yes, this doesn't add anything to the series outside of just fan validation, but it's a love letter from Hasbro to the fandom, and I do appreciate it. Hence why it's number 5. Number 4, Amending Fences. Not only is this episode an excellent callback to the first episode, but it also introduced us to Moondancer, who we never thought we'd see after her brief reference in the first episode. And seeing her as a what-if version of Twilight was even more introverted and even more studious than she already was is quite interesting. Plus, the whole message about making up for your past mistakes is certainly heartfelt for people like me, who have made mistakes in the past and try to make amends in the present. Anyways, great episode, one of the most heartwarming of the whole season. Number 3, The Main Attraction. The final episode by Amy Keating Rogers, and certainly she went out on a high note, no pun intended. This episode has it all when it comes to an excellent episode from Amy Keating Rogers, truly humorous moments from Pinkie Pie, a celebrity voiceover work from Lena Hall, who is a complete natural, by the way. Not to mention some excellent musical numbers from Miss Hall herself. Equestria, The Land I Love, and The Magic Inside will always stay close to my heart, and even the spectacle is really fun to listen to. We even got one of our most hated ponies now, with Sven Gallop. Amy Keating Rogers, you made me proud with this episode. But trust me, this isn't the last one for you in this list. Number 2, The Cutie Remark. Remember when I said what a way to start the season? Well, this is pretty much a stab in the back when it comes to how amazing this episode was to end the season. Bringing back every single villain and every single character that had played a major role in the previous pilots and finales, and bringing them all together was a stroke of brilliance by all connecting them to Rainbow Dash's Sonic Rainboom. Plus, it gave us some character development for Starlight Glimmer, a truly fascinating way to look at multiple realities of Equestria, and it all wraps itself together with an ending that makes it seem like we're going to have a main 7 rather than a main 6 in Season 6. And let me tell you, if Starlight becomes a main character, I would love that. Now, before we get to number 1, instead of doing a recap, I'd like to showcase a few honorable mentions. Episodes that were good, just not good enough to make the list. Bloom and Gloom. It is certainly a well-done Apple Bloom episode, and it does a good job of capping off the Cutie Mark Crusaders meet Princess Luna trilogy. I just felt that one Cutie Mark Crusader episode did its job a little better. I'm sure you already know what it is, but let's not say it right now. Rarity Investigates. Out of all of the Rarity episodes this season, I think this one was the best, but not good enough to crack the top 10. Though I do love the fact that this episode is a love letter to the film noir genre, which, as a former film student myself, I do appreciate. And finally, Tanks for the Memories. Cindy Morrow did it again. In an episode that teaches people how to treat those who are going to die soon without having any characters actually die, and have it being treated very tastefully. Not to mention, I'll Fly is probably my favorite Rainbow Dash song of the bunch. And finally, the number one episode this season was... Oh, who am I kidding? You know what it is. You know it's Crusaders of the Lost Mark. Where do I even begin with this episode? The fans never thought the Cutie Mark Crusaders would ever get their cutie marks at any point in the series, but then for this episode to come around and showcase us a 22 minutes of musical and emotional bliss was absolutely unexpected. Every song is well composed and well sung. Diamond Tiara finally gets character development as it showcases what her home life is like. The Cutie Mark Crusaders get their cutie marks in a fashion that none of us expected. And the whole episode ties itself off together in a way to show us that the Cutie Mark Crusaders' journey isn't done. It's just going to keep going on. And more than anything, I love this episode the most because it had the best emotion, the best music, and it proved to me why I love this series so much. It gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling inside that'll stay with you for the longest of long times. So that's my top 10 best episodes of the season. Stay tuned for in a few days where I'll talk about the top 10 worst episodes of the season by default. See you later.